All right. All right, Greg is looking at the graph of a parabola. Its vertex is -2, -25. It intersects the x-axis at -7 and 3, and it intersects the y-axis at -21. What are the roots? Circle the roots.
Circle the roots.
So, which one of these up here are the roots?
7 and -7 and 3.
Okay, why?
Because the x-axis.
Okay, that's where it intersects the x-axis. So, what's another name for -7 and 3?
X-intercepts.
X-intercepts, roots. There's 2 more names.
Intersection.
2
No.
real roots.
No, x-intercepts, roots, solutions.
That's fire.
They were, but it's today instead.
Wait.
What is that?
X-intercepts,
Tornado?
roots, so
It's the
the sirens for the city,
For the what?
the city sirens. They're testing them.
For the tornado intercepts.
Yes. Solutions, roots, and zeros. So the answer, is it C or is it D?
It is
D.
D. Good.
Yeah.
X-intercepts are the solutions. They are the roots.
I hope every
Okay.
question is like that.
Okay, solve 3x squared plus 6x equals 5 using the quadratic formula. Now, I am going to give you the quadratic formula tomorrow. X equals -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. It says leave your answer in simplified form. So what that means is you're going to simplify the square root if there is one to simplify. So what is, first thing we have to do is what on here? Subtract 5. Good. 3x squared plus 6x minus 5 equals 0. So what is A?
3.
B?
6.
C?
-5.
So x equals negative parentheses 6 plus or minus square root, put a -6 in here, squared minus 4 times 3 times -5.
Just one question. If A is a negative number,
Yes.
or not A, but B,
B, yes,
does it turn positive?
yes, it does. Out here, okay, it does. It'll be negative, negative, whatever it is. Okay. A is 3 here. Okay, so we have -6 plus or minus, and then we have to do this in a calculator.
Is this supposed to be -6 in the parentheses right there? Yes.
Oh, no, it's not. It's just a positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're right. Good.
Whoa, Matthew, you said something. Right.
It would end up being the same thing, but it's good to put it correctly.
So,
Why did it be the same?
Because what's -6 times -6?
Positive 6.
Positive 36. And then 6 times 6 is positive 36 also. So that's why it would be the same. So 3. $96. Am I the only one doing this?
I got it.
Okay, did you get 96?
I did get 96.
Okay. If I were you guys, I would do this in your calculator so you know how to do it tomorrow. Okay,
Tomorrow. What's tomorrow? We have a test
your
tomorrow.
test.
I thought it was Monday.
Okay,
No, that's
so
Coach Walton's test.
now what do we do with the 96?
Silly Waltons.
Guys, hush. What do you do with the 96? Factor tree. Okay. Now 96 is an even number, so what goes into it? 2. So 96 divided by 2 is 48.
48.
Yes. Okay, and then we can do 48. What do you multiply to get 48?
2 times 24.
Okay. And then 24. 12 times 2. And then 12.
3 and 4.
Okay, or 2 and 6. And then we end up with 2 and 3 left. Okay, so we got any pairs?
Yes.
2 pairs. 2 pairs of 2s. So what goes outside the square root and what stays inside?
4.
Oh, it's kidding.
2 times 2 would be 4. Goes outside, and then what stays inside?
2 times 3.
2 times 3, which is 6. So we have negative 6 plus or minus 4 square root of 6 over 6. That 4 square root of 6 replaces the square root of 96. Remember, partners get to leave the party, and then people without partners have to stay inside. Okay, stay in the
Everything's
party.
divisible by 2.
Yes, so we divide 6 by 2, we get plus or minus square root of 6 over 3. So that's your answer. That's what it means by simplified form. Okay, so you're going to have one of these quadratic formula problems. Right?
How many questions are on the test?
15.
It's not bad.
Find the vertex for the following function. How are we going to find that vertex?
Well, you need-
Plug it in where? Good. Y equals. So x squared minus 10x plus 65. And we're going to do zoom 6 because you may need to fix it because it might be on zoom 7. So zoom 6, and I don't see anything. Do you see anything?
No.
So what do you think we should do?
Ah. Ah. You know way.
Okay, leave the door open and bring it back.
I put those.
Okay,
The white.
Your last on top of that.
make the y 100. Why do we want to make y max 100? Okay, what tells you to make y max 100 in this
Plus
equation?
65.
That 65 is the y-intercept. Okay, so yes, that tells you that we need to be above 65.
Oh my.
So that does pretty good, doesn't it? Okay.
What's your
Can you find the vertex from here?
X?
Probably.
I just had it on zoom 6, and I just changed y max to 100.
Trace.
Because the vertex is right here.
Right, the vertex is right.
Second trace.
Okay.
My calculator geeked out.
Minimum.
Is it a minimum? You're
It is
welcome.
minimum.
Okay. So what do we do for left bound?
Go left.
Where you at? Left.
Push enter. And go to the right and push enter. Then push enter again. Okay, so we get 5 comma 40,
I am 4, 9.
which is 5, right? Okay, so 5 comma 40 would be,
What if your calculator geeked out?
well, you can either let me look at it, or you can do second memory 712
Or what if I want you to push any buttons?
and turn it off. Turn it back on.
I'll just turn it off.
Okay, number 4. Get another one if you need to, Ben.
We put this one.
Says we are going to in a minute. The function y equals negative 64 parentheses x minus 2.50 squared plus 400 models a store's profits in dollars on potato chips where x, now learn this part, x is the price of the bag of potato chips.
Holy skids.
Okay? What should the store charge for a bag of potato chips to maximize its profits?
At least
So,
$2.75.
hold on. So we're looking for X, which is the price of the bag of potato chips. And we were looking for when the profit store, the source profits is at a maximum. So we're going to look for the maximum.
That's
Put it
greedy
in y
right there.
equals negative 64 parentheses x minus 250 and squared plus 400. Did I do okay? Everybody got that? And then we're going to do zoom 6, which I can see one side of it. Okay. So what do you want to change in the window?
500.
From Y max?
Yep.
Okay. It's pretty good. 500 for Y max, and it does it. Y'all have this graph? Okay. So what are we trying to find now?
The maximum.
Second trace maximum. Interesting. What did I get?
2.5.
2.5, comma what? 400. Now, some of you might have 2.4999. You wrote 2.5 for that. What do you notice about this vertex in the equation?
What's the math?
Look at that.
It's plus 400.
Okay, this is in vertex form. That's why it's giving you the vertex. Only this one's the opposite, isn't it? Instead of negative 2.5, we have positive. All right, so which one of these is the x?
2.5.
Okay, and so that the x is the price of a bag of potato chips. So how much should they charge for the potato chips?
$2.50.
$2.50 per bag. Okay, then it asked another question. There's two questions. What is the maximum profit earned? $400 is the maximum profit. Okay, it's kind of like what we did outside yesterday in the hall, but a little bit different kind of problem.
You did it wrong if you just put parentheses 2.5.
Yes, that's not enough. You have to tell me what's what. It's probably just going to ask one of these questions, and you got to give me the right one. Okay. Okay. How does the graph of f of x equals negative 3x squared compare to the graph of positive x squared?
Flip and stretch.
Okay. Flipped over what axis?
X.
Reflected over x-axis. And stretched how? Vertically? Horizontally?
Vertically.
And vertically stretched by 3. And you can graph them and look at them if you're not sure.
This one.
Oh, on to the next one.
This one.
Just a second.
Oh, my head hurts.
Let me graph these, okay? Okay, graph them and see how it's flipped and stretched vertically. Okay. All right, what then?
I forgot how you tell if it was vertically or like it was.
We don't have any horizontal stretches.
Did we ever even learn?
We did a little bit, but we're not doing them this year. Okay. We just barely touched on at one time. All right, find the discriminant and describe the root. So the discriminant is b squared minus what?
Was I supposed to give this to someone?
B squared minus what? Okay, y'all stop talking.
Yeah.
B squared minus 4ac. That's the part that's underneath the square root. That's called the discriminant.
B squared minus 4AC.
All right, so
Discriminant.
what is A? What is B? And what is C? 9. So we're just going to plug in negative 12 squared minus 4 times 4 times 9. So parentheses negative 12 squared minus 4 parentheses 4, 9. What does that equal?
0.
Okay, so now look in your journal. Everybody got their journal? Look in your journal at this page right here. Solve quadratic equations by formula where we talked about the discriminant.
Are we use our journal on test?
Nope.
One real.
You're gonna have to know this.
Double root.
Right, because why? How do you know it's one real double root?
There's that one says right there.
Because the discriminant is what?
0.
0. What if the discriminant had been a positive number like 12?
You would have 2 real
It'd have 2 real roots. And if it's a negative number like negative 144,
2 complex roots.
okay, or 2 imaginary, either way. Okay, so this is, we're going to put 1 real double root. So you're going to have to know this. If you want to take this home and study, you can. Make sure you know what 0 discriminant is, what a positive discriminant is, and what a negative discriminant is. Okay, let's look at 7. Use a table of values for the quadratic function to determine between which two x values f of x will have a 0. Okay, so let's look at f of x. We're trying to find a 0. Where do you think there's going to be a 0? Between what two
Three.
numbers? Okay, right here.
Yep.
Why?
Because that's where it crosses from negative.
Okay, it goes from negative to a positive, so it's crossing the x-axis right here, right? Okay, so yes, you're looking for what x values. Okay, so for between 2 and 3. You're looking for where the y goes from negative to positive, or it could go from positive to negative. And that's the two numbers it'll be between. So that'll be B. Okay, we're getting almost there. So number 8. No, we really are. It didn't take that long. Solve for x. What do you do first?
Would it equal to 0?
Well, you don't have to because we're solving for x. So when we get x by itself, get rid of the what?
Oh, no.
Over negative 6.
Get rid of the negative 6. Divide by negative 6. What do you have on the left? X squared. Those negative 6's cancel. We have x squared equals, somebody do 216 divided by negative 6.
Negative 36.
Negative
Oh,
36.
yeah, negative.
Okay, now how do I get rid of the square? Square root both sides. Now there's something we have to do when we square root both sides. You remember? Well, that's because it's a negative under here, but other than that, what do we have to do? Plus or minus. Remember that?
What?
When you do square root of both sides, there's a positive answer and a negative answer.
There's a 6 on it.
All right, what's the square root of 36?
There's a 6 on
What's the square root of 36?
6.
What's the square root of a negative?
What is that? What is it?
So plus or
Where's
minus
6?
6i.
Upside down G's.
I know, it does look funny.
You guys don't know.
There we go.
Sorry, I don't know my numbers.
Okay, everybody know where the 6i came from?
Yes.
Okay, and it wouldn't be negative 6i. It would just be 6i, and then one will be positive, one will be negative. Okay, number 9. Find the discriminant and describe the roots. So the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac.
Are you giving that to us?
No, that's going to be, I'm going to give you the quadratic formula. It's inside the quadratic formula.
So it's what's.
Remember, where is it?
Oh, it's underneath that.
It's right here. Okay, that's your discriminant. Okay, so A is, B is, and C is 1.
Oh, just kidding.
And then we'll plug in negative 10 squared minus 4 times 25 times 1. So what is negative 10 squared? No, negative 10 times negative 10? Well, it will be. Oh, you did the whole thing. I'm sorry. And you got 0? That's because this is 100 and that's 100 and you're subtracting 100 minus 100 and you get 0. So what kind of roots are they?
One real. Wait, no. One
0.
real double root.
And it didn't have double, that's okay. One real root's fine.
That's wrong answer.
Okay, number 10 is like what we did yesterday. The path of a projectile can be modeled by the function below, where t is the time in seconds, and h of t is the height. Okay, that says which of the following could be the approximate time when the height is 150 meters.
So do you have to say.
Now, in other words, there's probably supposed to be an A, B, or C, but there's not, so we're just going to find the answer. So what do we do first?
Plug it into y equals.
Okay, everybody plug it in.
What?
Negative 8 squared.
Seriously?
Negative 8x squared. What's the matter?
Nothing, I got it.
You use that Y2 to.
Okay, I graphed it. I'm in Zoom 6.
I did not know. Oh, about
So what do you-
45
What do you think we should do here?
seconds.
Window 500 for
Mine was
math.
good.
500 is a little steep.
It's okay though. It'll work. If you want to make it less, you can, like maybe 300.
350 is pretty good.
Okay.
450.
All right, so we want to find the time when the height is 150 feet. How are we going to do that?
Y2,
Y2, good. Where are we going to put in Y2?
150.
Okay, so it draws a line right across at 150. Then what?
Intercept.
Okay, second, trace, intersect, enter.
So that one you don't have to move it.
No, first time you don't have to move it because it'll get the one that's closest to it. Okay. So X is 1.34 seconds, or the time. We have another one. Second, trace, intersect. We're going to move it over to the other intersection. Enter. 4.66 seconds. Anybody else get that?
I got
Yep.
4.65.
You got what?
4.65.
Okay, I had an 8 after it.
Round up.
Okay.
You don't even touch me.
Do you need to go to
Okay,
the
questions
templates?
about how to do that?
Do we need to go to the template?
To the what?
Sure.
I mean, this is the hundred.
I mean 100, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna do the hundreds.
Okay.
Seriously? Seriously?
Okay, number 11. This is the funnest one of all. Okay.
Yeah, because there's 3 problems in one. We're getting you.
All right, this is the inequality. This is this kind right here. Okay, when we did this, remember that?
I don't remember that.
Well, let's
So how do
learn.
we solve that?
Okay, first, let's get this, everything on one side, 0 on the other. So, x squared, then what? Minus 10x.
Plus 25
Uh-huh. It's
equals.
greater than or equal to? 0. Good. Okay. And then we're going to put it in y equals and sketch the graph.
We have to sketch it.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but if you can get the answer without it, I don't know if you can.
What's the answer supposed to be?
I don't know. What answer do you have?
I don't even know what we're looking for.
Let's do zoom 6. You're looking for when the graph is greater than or equal to 0.
Oh, so greater than, so above all of it.
Okay, good. Where does this cross at? Where does it intersect the
About
x?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
More sure.
Let's check the table, make sure. Do we have a 0 at 5?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it's here. You gotta check it because sometimes it'll go underneath it and you can't tell that it does. So you want to definitely check it. All right. How do you do what?
Less 2 or equal to 0. How do put
You
that in?
don't. I didn't put that in there.
Okay.
Just putting this in there. Okay, so greater than or equal to 0 means what?
Means above.
Above it. We're going to highlight everything above it. So let's do this way since we don't have a highlighter.
Oh, goodness.
So what part of the graph is greater than or equal to 0? Everything?
All reals.
All of it. That's right. Okay, now we'll do the next one. X squared minus 8x plus 12. I'm going to sketch it. Where does it cross on this one? It looks like 2 and 6. We got to make sure though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anybody already looked the table? 2 is a 0. 6 is a 0. Okay, what part of the graph is less than 0? The bottom part.
So between.
Between what? 2 and 6. So x is between 2 and 6. And what signs do you use? Nope. You use less than. Because 2 is less than 6, we use less than.
Oh, I did that.
Oh, okay. Just called it different. Okay. All right, then we have one more. X squared plus 2x, and then what? What do you do with the 15? Minus 15 is greater than 0. So x squared plus 2x minus 15.
Probably should be out.
Okay, where does it cross? Looks like 3.
Negative 5 and 3.
Okay.
Or is that negative 6? No, that's negative
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5. Okay, this is a greater than sign, so where would we shade? Alright, so we would, how would you write those?
X is less than negative 5 and greater than 3.
Good. Okay, remember if you need to, you can draw a number line with negative 5 and 3, and it's got 2 branches shaded. So x is less than negative 5 and x is greater than 3. And why is there not an equals? Why do we not have an equals?
Because it's greater or less than.
There's no equals in the problem. Okay, 12. Mark is building a rectangular fence for animals using the riverbank as one side. He has 120 feet of fencing to use for the other 3 sides. What is the maximum area that he can enclose? And it says to use this function to find the maximum.
So 120 divided by 3.
No, so you have to put this in y equals.
Why can't you do that? And then it'll give you the sides and then you
Can't you just
multiply.
times X and parentheses?
That's a lot easier.
You can, or you can just do it just like that, so you don't make a mistake. Like you can put 120x minus 2x squared in there, or you can do it like this. Either way. Matthew, what you're saying is not going to give you the maximum.
Not gonna give you the area on what?
Yeah, it will, because it'll give you the sides and then you just multiply.
You have to get the maximum though.
That
The
is
maximum area.
Well, you
So
only
what is your
have 100.
what's your maximum area then?
Okay, just give me a second.
All right, the rest of us are going to find the maximum, okay? So let's graph it. Can't see it, so what do you think? 500?
1600.
500's been a good one.
Your
For one.
maximum area is about 1600. So,
Okay, I can see part of it coming up, but can't see the rest of it coming down or the top. So let's make y max a little bigger. How about 1,000?
Mine fits.
How about, I think we need to make x max bigger. Let's make it 100. Now we're getting better. So we have x max is 100, and how about y max 2,000? Aha.
I have a question.
What's your question?
He's gonna build a fence that looks like that.
That looks like, no, he's gonna build a fence that looks like this. Here's your river, and it's gonna be a fence like that. I guess the animals won't swim or something.
Why
so the river's gonna dry up.
All right, so second trace, what are we finding? Max. Oops. So left bound would be left of the vertex, right bounds to the right of the vertex. Okay, so maximum is x equals 30 and y equals 1800.
How's that gonna work?
So which one's the maximum area? Yes.
30?
This is the x, that part, and this would be the area, 1,800 square feet.
How do you know?
It should say up here, and it does, that
It's
x
a math problem.
equals the width,
Calm down.
okay, Bailey?
Uh,
X equals the width, and y would equal your area.
What else in the test?
It'll be, it's always this way. X is always your width, y is always your area when you're maximizing areas. Okay, 13. Describe the roots of this quadratic equation. Is it one real double root, 2 real roots, or 2 imaginary?
2 imaginary.
That's the only choices you have. Okay. 3 choices. What does 1 real root look like?
Like this.
1 on the x-axis.
Okay, that's 1 real root.
Yep.
What does 2 real roots?
How many crosses?
Crosses of 2 places. And then this is to imaginary, don't cross it off. Okay, write a quadratic function whose graph opens upward and has roots of 3 and -5. Can you write factors for these roots? Like factors like this? What can you write? X, what? What would you put here?
3.
Negative 3.
Right, you have to do the opposite.
So the other one would be
If you want to
plus-
write factors, you have to do opposites here.
Do we have to do that?
Uh-huh. You want to write this equation.
X
Plus
plus
5.
5.
Okay. Now we have to do what?
That one thing.
Multiply it. FOIL it. So
FOIL.
x times x is x squared. Okay, then x times 5,
Plus 5.
5x. Then -3 times x.
Negative 3.
And -3 times 5. So x squared, and what's 5x minus 3x? Positive 2x minus 15. There is your quadratic function. That has roots of 3 and -5.
Well, there's a paper map back
Okay,
there.
15.
Oh.
Find the solution to the following quadratic equation by factoring. So we're going to factor. Kind of like the one you just did, only opposite. So x times x. What would we multiply to get 16 that would add to get 6?
2.
2,
Positive, negative, or what?
negative 2, positive 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do x times 8, you get 8x. And when you do -2 times x, you get -2x. And that gives you 6x. Okay, so that's correct. All right, now we haven't solved it yet. All we did was factor it.
But
What do you do with each of these?
X minus 2 equals 0.
Good. Set them equal to 0.
Or you can just change the sign.
As long as you don't have a number in front of the x, you can do that. Then we'll add 2. So x equals 2, and then subtract 8. So x equals -8. And that is your answer. Those are your solutions, roots, zeros, everything. All right, take this home and study it.
yes, ma'am.
Bring it back tomorrow.
I will. Taking the study go up. I'm gonna take it home.